session is not on. Thank you so much for joining. Sally, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. I noticed my internet's buffering a little bit, so hopefully we'll get through. I'm looking
Okay,
like I'm
yeah,
in the
even I
future.
see that your internet connection is wobbling a bit. Anyways, welcome to the Global Virtual Summit 2024. We just had a session of with Greg Martin, General Greg Martin. We had a very insightful session on bipolar disorder, and we have a lot of questions which came up through. So, with finishing that, we are moving to the next one. So that is your session. So Sally Lian, she's here. Her topic is visioneering skills for tomorrow's leaders today. So there are almost 110 people who are attending this session on the platform and many more on YouTube and Facebook Live. Let's all welcome Sally Lian with a huge round of applause. And Soumya will introduce you. After that, it's you can take care of it.
So, our next keynote speaker, Sally Leon. Sally is an international best-selling author, keynote speaker, educator, trainer, and NLP master coach. She began her career teaching Chinese in Australia and quickly rose to lead a Chinese program at an international school in China. With experiences in China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Thailand, Sally has worked with thousands of teams from over 50 countries and top international schools. In 2004, she received the Akamis Award for her contributions to international education. Fluent in Chinese and knowledgeable in Eastern and Western education perspectives. She founded 25 million Chinese immersion program in Singapore. As the founding director of Lian in the Succeed Private Limited, she provides leadership and success coaching for teams and communication strategies for parents, particularly for immigrant and TCK families. Sally has keynoted and presented at conferences across Asia, Australia, and the USA, bringing her unique life experiences to energize and add to her audience. So it's very wonderful, Sally. So the stage is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome. And hi, everybody. 大家好, as we would say in Chinese. So what an awesome lineup so far. I'm okay, not sure what happened there. Somehow I got blocked. So here I am. Thank you, Dr. Rhonda, for your talk about building self-esteem and confidence, and Gladys sharing her powerful journey, Beth's cycle of performance, and our very own 4-star general, Greg Martin, or retired general. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your continued bravery in sharing your story. I love the message that Greg ended with. There is hope. There is always hope. So I'd like to begin by trying to see, first of all, I can share my screen here. And then just ask if you've ever sat and wondered, when you were young, did you ever sit and wonder what the future would hold for you, or what the future might be like? Yeah? Oh. It says click here. I'm going to fix the browser permissions. Oh dear. Okay, I think it's going to be too technical, so we won't worry about it. Did anyone ever sort of wonder what the future was like? Maybe put a yes in the chat screen. I know I used to wonder, and one of my, I guess, motivational things for when I was young was a cartoon called The Jetsons. Some of you may have seen The Jetsons growing up, with the little flying to work and dropping the kids off and all the things that they had. And perhaps some of you have even seen that movie Back to the Future. And I wondered what would happen if they had landed the DeLorean in 2022. You may have seen that meme that was going around about the DeLorean being melted because it landed in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. So actually that future is already here. Just late last year, I sat in a very futuristic vehicle, which is called an eVTOL. And there's no steering wheel. It's actually like a life-sized drone, and with 4 props on the top, so it can move vertically and then horizontally. They are being prepared in Australia for rollout in the next couple of years for use with our emergency services, so that they can drop into an accident site where somebody's injured and pick them up directly and ferry them straight to the hospital, landing on a helipad on the top of the hospital. It's just an incredible pace of change in the world that we're in. Also, that we have had, those vehicles will then be ready for commercial use in not too much further ahead than a couple of years. So it's really moving so fast. Justin Trudeau said at the World Economic Forum in 2018, he said, think about it, the pace of change has never been this fast and yet will never be this slow again. From my own life journey, even, I began life as growing up in a small country town, and never could that young Aussie girl ever have guessed the future that was in store for her. My parents moved us to the outskirts of the city in Melbourne, Australia, when I was about to finishing elementary school and then going into middle school. And the school that my parents chose taught Chinese. And I had no idea that simply, having to learn Chinese in middle school by the arrangement of the school was compulsory, where that would lead me and the opportunities that would arise in my own life. So who knew that, I didn't get to study in high school because we moved back out of the city into a large country town. And then I decided to study languages at university. And I had no idea that saying yes to that opportunity would lead to more. So I ended up, saying yes. I got to study in China for a year as part of my degree. I know a lot of universities around the world offer those sort of immersion learning experiences now. But I didn't know that, having just that enough courage each time to say yes to opportunities as they arose would then lead to, the next opportunity. Sometimes I didn't really know if I could do it, but I always had the courage to say yes and then figure out how. And this little Aussie girl who grew up in a country town and started to learn Chinese in the big city, moved to another country town, started to learn Chinese again at university. She didn't know that she was going to end up living in 3 different Asian countries for a total of 22 years, working, across international schools, across Asia, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand. Just incredible opportunities that unfolded with each, having enough courage and small steps to say yes when opportunities arose. So from my own life journey, my first tips for future readiness and really being that visioneer for our own future and for the young people around us is to have just a dash of curiosity, to be seeking out opportunities, and also just enough, what I call everyday courage, to say yes when opportunities arise. Because otherwise we miss the moment and it moves on. Somebody else gets that opportunity. And we just need to have just enough to lean in and say yes to opportunities. We're living in exponential times. And I think that in future, we might refer to our current times as AG, after Google. Some interesting facts are that in 1992, there were only around 1 million internet devices in the world. By 2008, there were 1,000 million. And today, there are over 30 billion internet devices in the world. Just 1 week of, issues of one newspaper, such as the New York Times or the Australian Age, has more information than all of the information that was available in the 18th century. Think about that for a moment. And in today's world, as we're increasingly influenced and impacted by tech and AI, one of the big things is, what can we be doing? What can we be doing to support our young people in dealing with this future that is moving at a fast pace that we really can't predict what it'll be like when our current kindergartners have graduated from high school and college. As one of my favorite education gurus, Sir Ken Robinson, pointed out in his very most famous TED Talk from 2006. In fact, I think if Sir Ken was still around, instead of asking, do schools kill creativity, he may be asking now, do screens kill creativity? We really do need to be investigating and thinking about the impact on our young people of tech and AI. We don't need to be afraid of it. As General Greg said earlier, it is, there is hope. There's always hope, and we will learn how to manage that better. But we need to be treating our tech as tools to help us, not tools to dominate our lives. And our young people really need guidance with that as well. My deep interest in future readiness began when I started working at a big international school, Singapore American school, in the about 2014. And it is one of the largest single campus international schools in the world. We have over 4,000 kids on campus, and K to 12, and really cutting edge. And at the present moment, they are in phase 1 of rebuilding the campus. It's a $400 million project to address several years of R&D that the school undertook about what was needed to be a future-ready school and who could produce future-ready students. Fascinating process to be part of. Incredible depth and research done. And I moved from Singapore, actually during the middle of the pandemic, to Thailand, to another school that calls themselves Thailand's Future Ready School, which is Verso. Also, it was brand new, purpose-built, future-ready campus. So instead of having to rebuild an old campus, they had built from scratch on a brand new campus. But not a lot of the school systems in the world have hundreds of millions of dollars to be investing in future readiness. In fact, a lot of the public school systems around the world are very slow in adapting to what's happening in and around the education space, and tech and AI following slowly. So what can we be doing? What do we need to be doing in order to be helping our young people to be tomorrow's leaders and be feeling ready to face that uncertain future that's rolling out, whether they're ready or not, whether we're ready or not? And I call it visioneering. We need to have the vision, but we also need to have the engineering, the pieces that we need to put in place to really be supporting them. And it is crucial that we really do take on three big steps. One is connection. In real estate, you may have heard the term location, location, location. But in education and in raising our young people, and even if you're not a parent, even if you are someone who is working in a company or working with young people in some capacity as a mentor, we need connection, connection, connection. And that means getting out from behind our screens, really working on building face-to-face connection, interactions. A lot of the kids are coming through now, and they really do suffer from the impact of too much screen time. So we need to be really working with them on building their connection, their human interaction skills. Communication skills, number 2, communication. So connection, communication, the social skills, under all that bracket that we need to be working on with them, and have them supported in developing those skills that they don't get from staring at a screen. And no matter how many games and interactive things that they do, even if they're a creator online, they don't have the communication, the human-to-human communication that is needed also for them to be feeling like they have the third aspect, which is the confidence in themselves, and the confidence that only comes with connecting, with being able to communicate well.
ల్యాప్టాప్ లో రాలేదు. Okay. Can you bring us? There's some technical issue here. Can you guys hear Leanne, Sally Leanne? If so, please comment in the chat window. Can you hear Sally Leanne? No, yeah. I think Anurag said he is unable to hear. Not sure. I think she's delivering her speech, but I'm not sure why we are unable to hear her. So let's give it a minute and then let me check with her. So sorry about the disrupt, disconnect. So we are going to check with her. Can you hear Sally Leanne? She disappeared. Yeah. Oh no, but I could hear. Yeah. I think she's facing some technical issues. Not sure what happened. Even we are unable to check with her. Just give us one moment. We'll be right back. We'll be checking with the speaker. Just enjoy your coffee and just give us one moment. We'll get back with you. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for being patient. However, we tried to reach Sally Lee and we are unable to reach her, and not sure. We just messaged her. So, Sally Lee, and I think thank you for your wonderful speech. And since you are not here, we will be posting your questions to your email. Thank you so much for joining us. And unfortunately, she is unable to connect back. So let's go to the next speaker and let's join the next speaker session. So thank you so much for being patient, and we will connect back with you, Sally Lian. Thank you. It was wonderful to have you on the stage. Thank you. We just got her back, so I'm just getting her. Hi, Sally.
Oh no,
We lost you.
I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, we lost you for a bit, and like we were wondering what happened, and we are trying to reach you. Yeah, go ahead, please. We still have
um,
5 more minutes of your time.
okay, so uh, so thank you, Beth, who's texted me to say that I was up to saying about communication. So communication was the second important key to having our young people feeling future ready. The third one is confidence, and I know that was mentioned already a couple of times this evening, or this evening for me, today for all of you in America. So really working on in as teachers, we talk about controlled practice to guided practice to free practice, and we need our children and our teenagers to be able to have that opportunity of taking on responsibility in controlled ways and then being guided, but then also being given more and more free opportunity to really learn what it is to take on responsibility, and and then face the things that happen if they don't aren't able to meet what they have agreed to do. So the other thing that I had mentioned when I was chatting away to myself apparently was that many of us in the workplace talk about norms. So we have those agreed ways and expectations that we'll communicate, that we'll have hold meetings, etc. So we have norms at work, but I would really encourage everyone to be thinking about having norms at home as well. Have those co-created agreements about family expectations. Because if we are bringing down rules as the adults in the room, then that's just going to meet with resistance, right? Because it's our rules, not our young people's rules. So we really need to think about how we can co-create norms around what we're going to, and especially norms around the use of devices and tech and being online and all of that. There was a video years ago that I saw of a little boy, a 2-year-old in Indonesia, who was chain smoking at the age of 2, something like 40 cigarettes a day. It was just unbelievable to me. You can look it up on YouTube. You'll find him there. But we would not let, most of us would not let our children to develop a 40 a day smoking habit. However, we let them have a lot of free range and free time, and often too much time on screens because it's just easier. We're busy, it's a great way to keep them busy, etc. We really need to be having that connection, communication, the in-person quality time, and to build that serve and return type of relationship, build the trust, build the responsibility from both sides, from us and the young people that we have around us. And that goes for educators, for parents, for mentors in even in the workplace, working with young graduates and emerging leaders. Connection, communication, and confidence. Those are the 3 keys, and I'll leave that there. I'm just conscious of time, having dropped out for a little while there. I'm glad I was able to come back and join you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. So thank you for joining this, rejoining here and giving us very insightful uh, talk. So here are some questions from our team. Uh, So, from the audience, what emerging trends do you foresee that will impact the way leaders need to think and act?
Mm. Actually, I was asking ChatGPT about, what is the most important, sort of skills that we need to develop. ChatGPT told me adaptability. But when I talk to education leaders around the world, they're really talking about curiosity. So we need to be really fostering curiosity for ourselves. There you go, there's a fourth C. Curiosity for ourselves and for our young people. Why? Because if we're being genuinely curious, we have to suspend our judgment, and our opinion. It's really important that we're able to put those aside as leaders, and and working with the young people of the world. We have to be able to be open-minded, curious, and fostering those sorts of skill sets in our young leaders as well.
Thank you so much, Sally. That was very well answered. I think the person who asked might have got the right answer for this one. Thank you so much for joining, and it's an absolute honor for us to have you here. I hope you enjoyed the session, and please do continue to attend our rest of the day's sessions, please. Thank you so much, and yeah,
Thank you.
we will join
Namaste.
our next session. So, Erica Gifford Mills is our next speaker. Please do join.